Let me take these off. I've been wearing these since the 7th grade. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Anani. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. So if you guys caught my last video, you will know that the reason that I am stuck here in the United States and not in Jamaica sipping a coconut somewhere and eating a jerk chicken leg is because I am in an active legal case against my former employer. In my previous video, I told you guys that it was actually some interesting details surrounding that situation. Now, like I said before, I cannot go into the specifics of the case, the allegations, the names, anything like that. It is strictly confidential while this legal case is open. I can tell you guys this very interesting fact, and when I tell people this, their immediate reaction is like, what did you just say? Yes, it is true, and the title is correct, you guys. I am representing myself in this legal case. I am pro se.
You got into Harvard Law?
What, like it's hard?
So as soon as people hear that, the next question is, wait, you're a lawyer? And the answer to that question is no. No, I'm not. The next question thereafter is, wait, so you're not a lawyer, but you're representing yourself in a legal case? Yes. Yes, I am. Shortly thereafter, this image is what comes to people's mind. And you know what? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. How in the world did that come about? Like I said, without going into a lot of specifics, I did not anticipate the legal situation kind of going as far as it is right now. I had actually expected it to conclude earlier, actually a lot earlier. But I am a firm believer in going with the flow, seeing something through to the very end. I told myself, not even just necessarily in this particular matter, but in life in general, I don't want to do something out of fear. If I decide to, whatever I decide to do, the decision should be based on because I want to do it, not because I'm scared of what would happen if I do or don't. You know, so in a nutshell, I did not have money. I did not have money for a lawyer. I will discuss certain things in another video coming soon about some of the realizations that I have learned being even in the legal space, even regarding lawyers and a whole lot of stuff. So we'll get into that in another video. But I did not have money to afford a lawyer. And I was faced with the decision of, do I let a thing go? You know, do I let a thing go? Do I push justice to the side because I can't afford justice? Or do I pursue it myself? And I made the choice to pursue it myself. Now, that is no easy feat, as I'm sure you all can imagine. Law is not something to play with. You know what I'm saying? It is something to be taken seriously. It is something to be researched. People obviously go to school for years and years and years in an effort to take the bar exam and pass and become a lawyer and things of that nature. Like, it is not something like, oh, you know, you should take lightly. So trust me, I knew. Well, okay, let me say this, because that's not correct. That's not correct. I had a scope, but I did not realize the extent of what was up next. Me, who I am as a person, when I have decided, okay, this is something that I am going to do, this is something that I believe in, this is something that I need to see through all the way to its conclusion, you know, whatever that conclusion is, I lock in, period. That is exactly what I did. I started researching and researching and reading and trying to educate myself as much as possible. I also did inquiries and stuff like that with people in the legal sphere. And I asked them, being pro se, basically what is my risk here? What is my exposure? Being pro se, like what am I looking at here? And obviously, you know, their eyes bucked too, like, you're about to do what, pro se? But the best advice that I think I got was, being pro se, the most common issue that you're going to have is procedure. Because you are not, they didn't say this strongly, but it's true. You are not educated in legal procedure. So it is very easy to slip up. So because that was, like I said, I think the strongest piece of advice, that is what I absolutely locked on into. But researching and reading also to procedure and how a thing goes and deadlines and everything that could trip up a pro se, I needed to make sure I had it down packed. I will say, obviously, you know, you can't sit here and lie. I am not a lawyer. I did not go to school for law. It is something that I've always had a passion for, even just kind of who I am, justice and fairness and all these concepts, balance and harmony, and what's right versus what's wrong and stuff like that is something that I've always actually had an extreme passion for. But I have not been in, like I say, I'm not a lawyer. I didn't go to school for it. So I had to really lock in and understand. That came with a lot of nights where I wanted to pull out my hair. That has come with a lot of nights where, you know, you can kind of feel, you know, your stomach turning and knots, like, oh my goodness, and stuff like that. And especially, like I say, I cannot disclose any information, you know, as who and what and when and all that kind of a thing. But what I can say is I am not going up against a chump of a law firm. You know, like this is not like, you know, like it's not a chump of a law firm. Okay. So I am also a person that believes in respecting your opponent. So I never put anything past anybody. So like I said, even because of that, I have like taken even extra precautions and done extra research and, you know, really trying to fortify everything and stuff like that. So I say that to say I have not taken this lightly. I know the stereotype around pro se representation, and I get it. Trust me, I get it. Because even in, you know, researching and stuff like that, I have looked into other pro se cases, and the stereotype is very much there for a reason. But what I will say is I do take it very seriously. I'm kind of being very lighthearted with you guys right now, but it's for real. It is for real. Like I say, it's a lot of grind nights where I am up late writing briefs or, you know, answering replies or just a whole lot of stuff. And like I say, it is not for the faint of heart. I have an attitude drenched in persistence. That is kind of who I am. And like I say, I am a soul that can live with an outcome, but I can't live with regret, you know? So I will see something through as absolutely far as I can take it, because that is what settles my spirit. I'd rather, like I say, take the time, learn new skills, grind, research, you know, try the absolute best that I can, gain that knowledge, then say, oh, I can't, you know, I can't, and let it go and stuff like that. No, like that's not who I am. That is not in in my blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, it's not me. So I chose the road less traveled. And when I say that, I mean seriously. I have ran the statistics of the probability of me being where I am and surviving this far with this case. And I kid you not, I almost fell out of my chair. It quite literally was 1 in a million. And, well, 1.5 in a million, but it sounds better to say 1 in a million. If that does not go to show you guys just how persistent. Like, I'm very persistent, especially when I feel, I think I can say that legally, especially when I feel that something is right. Do stay tuned, guys. We have some really interesting content. I will also be showing you guys a day in my life, what it looks like from being a supervisor at Bell's to at night becoming Elwood's and trying to craft legal briefs and cases and a whole lot of stuff, guys. So do stay tuned. I hope to have you guys follow along with me on my journey, and eventually we will get to Jamaica. But right now we have to detour and make sure this is seen to fruition. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.